You are receiving the frequencies of she. She has something to say. Hey everybody, welcome and welcome again to another episode of She Has Something to Say Saturday. What's up? This is your host, Rashida. I want to welcome you all to our season finale episode of season 7. So, long time no talk. What's up with y'all? How y'all doing? How is y'all summer going? Okay, that's the question. Like, I've been having a great time this summer. I've been summering. Your girl has been summering. It's been a good time. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed season 7 and everything that came with it, all the love and emotion and thought that was put into it. I hope it resonated with somebody out there. And as I always say, if it did not resonate with you, it may resonate with somebody you may know. So feel free to share it and spread the love. So yeah, season 7, as I said in the prelude episode, was going to be a heavy one, and it was. And it just be like that sometimes. You know, I had a few rough patches here and there. As far as, last year and some of this year. And I expressed that through my poetry, right? And so what I'm learning in my 28 years is that it's all about our perspective, right? So no matter what happens to you, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's devastating, heartbreaking, we still have some power. We can still control, a portion of what's happening around us to a certain extent, right? We can't always control the trauma that we may endure or the situations that life may throw at us. But when it comes down to it, we still have some power to decide how we want to handle the situation, right? So what I'm learning is that there is a lesson in every single ill that we may encounter in our lives. So whatever that lesson may be, it's up to you to really dig deep into your soul, into your thoughts, into your mental, into your life, right? And really attempt to understand what that lesson may be. And that's where, therapy may come into play, right? I know a lot of people in general are just becoming more open to therapy. Like when I was younger, nobody talked about therapy and, checking on your mental state of mind and what's going on up in here. A lot of people did not really talk about that. But nowadays it is being spoke upon, and I am grateful for that and thankful for that. Even outside of therapy, like I just feel like a lot of people are more open with the emotional aspect of this human experience. And I love that for us. I really do, because we were not put here to go through life alone, to deal with life in its numerous circumstances alone. We are here to support each other and uplift each other and, just be there for one another. So hopefully, you all have that person in your life, whether that person is, a very close friend or a family member or somebody you talk to on a daily or every once in a while. Maybe this podcast is your person, right? Your safe space. And as I always say, I love to hear from you all. So feel free to, hit us up on our website. You all can email us. You all can DM us. There's various ways to reach out to us. If you are watching this right now, we are also on YouTube. We have incorporated a video component to our podcast as well. So, hey, girl, hey. If there's any guys listening, hey to y'all as well. I appreciate everybody who tunes in and is rocking with me in the podcast. it never goes unnoticed. It never goes unnoticed. So I appreciate all the love and support over the years. Like, y'all believe September is going to make what, 5 years? Almost at 6. September makes 5 years that we have been an official entity, right? A thing, and that's a blessing in itself. And sometimes it can be discouraging, like, you know, I'm not necessarily where I want to be at as far as the growth with the podcast and listenership and all that, but I know one day it's going to come, and I have no doubts about that. Like, I have faith in God that He is going to, you know, do what He does best, right? And that's another thing, you know, just having faith in God. Talking to God is so important. Like, as you're going through situations, relationships, like self-doubt or being self-conscious about yourself, whatever the case may be, like, give it to God. I promise, like, He's going to give you so much peace. Like, and it may sound so cliche, like, yeah, just give it to God, talk to God, put God first, da, da, da. And everybody says it. Everybody, you know, that's what everybody says, right? But it's so true. It's so true. Like, just being a Christian in general and really having that relationship with God, like, because that's the most important aspect of being a Christian, is having that one-on-one relationship with Him. You know, praying to Him, reading His word, like, that's so important. And one thing about me, I'm going to talk about God. Like, so if you haven't noticed, you know, I'm going to talk about God. And even if you're not a Christian, I'm sure this will still resonate with you. Mind you, I highly recommend it. But, you know, even if you're not, you know, I'm not going to push it on anyone, but that's who I serve. I serve Jesus Christ, and I'm going to talk about Him, period. So hopefully, you know, what I say in my poetry and my thoughts and all that still resonates with you, because when it all comes down to it, we're all human. We all go through things. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is to, you know, take what we go through in life and put our feelings towards it, right? Have some verbiage to articulate how we feel as we go through the motions of life, and, you know, really feel our feelings and let it go and release it. Like, you know, it's always important, in my opinion, to have some sort of release and to be able to learn from what we go through in life and to elevate, right? And that's our motto. This podcast is for the evolving woman, right? So, as I said, I just turned 28. 28 is crazy. 28 is crazy. But even though, you know, I've had some rough patches in these past several months, I'm still thankful. I still have joy. And that's what, you know, what is given to me by God. He gives me my joy. And I try to maintain that no matter what's happening around me. Of course, I'm going to have emotions, and, you know, I may have sad days, down days, but when it comes down to it, I still maintain my joy. And I'm so thankful and grateful for that, because some people, they want to throw the towel in, like, at any minor inconvenience. And I will say, like, sometimes I get frustrated or I get thrown off by certain situations, but when it comes down to it, things always work themselves out. And they work out as they should, right? So I am definitely thankful for that. But moral of the story is just make sure you take control of your perspective, right? So as I said, my birthday was earlier this month, and I had a blast. I linked up with my sisters, my besties, and we went to a festival in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we were able to see well, kind of able to see Bryson Tiller perform. We were late, y'all. We were late due to my time management. And that's something I'm working on, is being better in that regard, or just a better version of myself as well. As I said, you know, we're all working on elevation. But we still had a blast, even though we did not see his whole set. We had a ball, you know, we had a ball that entire night. Like, we went out, it was a great time. And so we could have said, oh, wow, this trip is horrible. Like, we done missed 90% of the concert. Like, baby, let's go home. But no, we still, you know, made the best of our night. And I personally, I had a great time. I had a great birthday. No regrets. No regrets. And then that next weekend, I went to Texas. I went to Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, to see my girl, Janae, my favorite artist of all time. Also, Tink was there, my other favorite artist, and I got to see Umi. I'm now a fan of her. She's dope. Kiana Lede was there. Coyle Ray was there. It was a vibe. It was a vibe. But I also saw my cousins, you know, out there that I barely ever get to see. So it was a dope trip. It was great to see them as well and spend, you know, a little bit of time. It wasn't much at all. It was a very quick trip, but to spend a little bit of time with them and just kind of hang out, it was a great time for sure. But yeah, my point is, I missed my flight. I missed my flight, y'all, going into Texas. And I'm like, oh my God, what does this mean? Should I not be going or what? But my perspective and what I told myself that day was, that flight could have crashed. That flight could have had a wing fall off mid-flight. Like, you never know what might have happened. And I just still made the most of my day that day, and, you know, just kind of relaxed until the next flight happened, because the next flight was not until like 6 or 7 hours later, which was crazy. But eventually I made it there, and I had a ball, met some new people, conversated with some new folks, and got to visit Texas for the very first time. So I loved it. It was great. Shout out to all my Texanites, my Texas listeners. Yeah, if y'all from Texas, let me know. Let me know. Let's chat about y'all state. It was dope. It was dope. Had a good time. But yeah, and if you see me looking at my phone, don't mind me if you're watching the video, because I have some notes that I am referencing so I don't forget to drop the gems that I have planned for y'all. Okay? So yeah, just remember to take your L's and turn them into lessons. And also remember that rejection can be God's protection as well, right? So even though things may not work out how we intend them to every single time, it's all going to work out how it should. Okay, so don't throw a fit, don't throw a temper tantrum at this big old age because things didn't work out how they should. Just give it to God and He gonna work it out. That's it. That's all. So moral of the story is, no matter what you go through, no matter what events may take place in your life, never forget who you are. Never forget, you know, who God intended for you to be. And if you don't know who that is, and if you don't know what that may be, figure it out. Like, really spend time with yourself and explore life. Like, get out and go on an adventure. Get out and explore the world, meet new people, like really understand and acknowledge your gifts and your talents and what makes you happy, what brings you joy. Really lean into that, because it's so much hate and just malice happening, especially in my country, in our country, for those who are listening in America. Like, it's so much going on, too much. And so we have to be able to find the silver lining in every situation, and find our little corner of happiness, because we all have it. It's just, you have to find it. And once you find it, hold on to it. So yeah, just make sure you stick to who you are. And shout out to season 7, episode 17, Getting Back to Me. That poem really resonates deep within me because it's like, no matter what, as I said, no matter what happens, never forget who you are and never let anyone else tell you who you should be. You know who you are. Like, when it comes down to it, we don't really be needing advice from people because your intuition is going to tell you what you need to know. The Holy Spirit is going to tell you what you need to know, period. So always remember who you are and what you were set on this earth to do. So I ended that poem by saying, knowing God makes all things new, giving all things to him so he can get the glory. Because it's so true. We may have stress, we may have anxiety, we may have depression, but once we give it to God, he will give us his peace, period. He will give us his peace. So just have faith in him no matter what, and know that he's working things out for your good, period. Okay, so that's really all I have for y'all today. That is our session of She Has Something to Say Saturday. So hopefully something I said resonated with y'all, and y'all continue to, listen to the show and interact and engage with us online. All of our links for our various social medias will be in the episode description as well. I love to engage with y'all, so make sure y'all are also reaching out and interacting. As I said, I don't want this to be a one-sided conversation all the time. So, yeah, make sure y'all conversing with me and whatnot. I love to hear from y'all as well. So as I said, keep God first in everything and anything that you do in life. And he's going to direct your paths and put you and send you where you need to go. All right. Before I end, there was a little girl. Well, she was 19, but she was like a little girl at Aldi this morning. And it's heavy. It's heavy. Her and her mother were in the aisle, and the girl, like, she just fell down. And her mother's like, what's wrong with you? She didn't say it like that, but she's like, what's wrong with you? And whole time this girl was having a seizure. She was having a seizure, and I didn't really realize what was happening at the time because I was probably about maybe 10 feet back, and her mother's like, hey, call the police. Somebody call the police. I said, okay, let me call the police. And so I called them, and they, the EMS ended up coming and helping the girl out. But it was a very scary situation. So I'm like, I feel like God put me there intentionally because I did not plan on going to the store that morning. I planned on getting my nails done. I wanted to get my nails done, which I did. Y'all like them? This is my favorite set I've ever had so far. Like, the yin yang combo is unmatched. It's unmatched. And for those of you who do not know what I'm referring to, this is your chance to go ahead. Ooh. So we got a Google home little thing, and this girl just started talking out of nowhere, and I'm the only person here, so I'm about to wrap this up real quick. But let me finish my story because that's weird. That's why I don't be liking all that extra stuff. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, if you don't know what I'm referring to when I'm referring to my nails here, this is your excuse to go ahead and subscribe to us on YouTube and follow the show on there, okay? Do that. But yeah, the girl, she had a seizure. I called the police, and I feel like, God had me there for a reason, because her mother, she was so distraught. Like, it was very intense, emotional, scary to see. And I feel like, do y'all hear that? Okay. Long story short, God puts us where we should be. And he will redirect our paths, period. So, yeah. Okay, so my camera died. But what I was saying was, I just walked up to the mother, gave her a hug, and, just told her I was praying for her, because sometimes sometimes that's all we need in life is a hug from another human, just to, feel like we're supported. As I was saying earlier, like, we're all here to support one another. We were not meant to be in this life and walk this journey alone. So I just told her, I'm praying for you all, and, keep your head up. God's got you. And God has us in control, because that's what helps me when I'm going through situations. And hopefully that helps her, and hopefully that helps y'all in some regards. And I walked away, but the point of the story was just to say, like, I feel like God would put us where we need to be when He needs us to be there. Because I did not plan on, going to the store, but that's where He had me at that time. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Hope you all are having a good morning, evening, afternoon, night, whenever y'all are listening to this episode. And just thank you for listening to the podcast and resonating with the podcast and my poetry. I always like to express my gratitude and thank y'all, because this is my baby. Like, this is my little art baby. I've been doing it since I was, 23? As I said earlier, I'm 28 now. So just to know that there are others out there who are resonating and listening to little old me and what I have to say really means a lot to me. So I'm gonna leave it there. But as I said, hopefully we will all be in touch soon. Thank you for all of your continued support, and I'll see y'all on the next one. If y'all have any poetry topics y'all want me to touch on, feel free to reach out and let me know, whether that is an email or our contact form or a DM. Always open to feedback and suggestions. So until next time.